everyone, welcome to the new series of web technologies. In today's class, we'll see what is meant by basic web architecture. So the basic web architecture consists of web architecture. So the basic web architecture has got three elements in it. Okay, so it has got three elements in it. The first element is the website. The first element is the website, and the second element is the server. And the third element is the IP address. Okay, so all these three elements comprises of the basic web architecture. So what is a website? A website is a collection of web pages. You can understand it to be the digital files of a related content, and that is identified by a common domain name. So examples of websites are Google is an example of website, and Amazon is an example of website. Then Wikipedia is an example of website, and so on. So let me make you understand how to create these websites. What are the technologies that are used to create these websites? So another definition for websites is that websites are the digital files that are written using HTML. So that's the reason why we are studying this basic web architecture. A little understanding of this basic web architecture is needed because of this. Okay, so what is a website? A website is the digital files or the related web content that are written using HTML. So the first topic of your web technologies course is learning HTML. To access the internet, you require a browser. So you can see the browsers over here. This is the Firefox browser. This is the Google Chrome, and this is the Microsoft Edge browser. Apart from this, you also have Internet Explorer browsers, and then you have Safari browsers. You also have Opera browsers and so on. So I'm opening this Microsoft Edge browser. So this is the place where I need to type the URL. So I just need to, so you can see like it is asking me search or enter web address. So what I need to do over here is I need to type the web address. Say for example, I want to open Facebook. To open Facebook, what I'm doing is I am typing Facebook. Okay. As soon as I have typed Facebook in the browser over here, what happens is the browser will contact the server, and the server will actually give the information back to the browser. This is what is happening. Now, this is the second element of your basic web architecture, which is the server. Server will be having all the information regarding the Facebook website, and all the information will be fetched to the PC that you are currently using. Now, what is meant by IP address? So each and every website need to be hosted on a IP address. So IP addresses generally look like, for example, so the IP addresses generally look like so 69.63.176.13. Not only this, it will be having like 117.113. So it can be any combination of the numbers over here. So this is the IPv4 address. So which is the address of the Facebook? Okay. So this is actually the IP address of the Facebook, but it is very difficult for us to remember the numbers. So that's the reason why there is always a domain name over here. So let me give you another analogy for this. For example, your phone contacts. In your phone contacts, you will be having name and then associated phone number, right? So we'll be having name and then the associated phone number. So it will be very difficult for us to actually remember all the phone numbers that are there in the contacts. So whenever we want to make a call, what we'll do, we'll look up into the name of the person and then make a call. So it is simply like that. So for humans to understand, for humans to remember it very easily, the domain names have been given over here, and there will be an IP address against the domain name. So the browser will actually, whenever we type Facebook over here, so the underlying IP address of this particular Facebook is fetched, and then the particular server which is hosting the Facebook information is contacted, and then the information needed is fetched onto your PC. Okay, so to create such kind of applications, you need technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So there is some front end for all the websites and there is back end. Front end is the part the user interacts to. Like for example, you're typing your email address and then the password and then clicking on the login and all that. And whatever the user is interacting to is considered to be the front end. So first we'll see like what are the technologies that are used for creating the front end. So here I'm going to, in this particular web technology series, I'm going to discuss HTML and then CSS and JavaScript and Bootstrap framework. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is used to create web pages. It is used to structure the web pages, which consists of series of elements. So in 1989, WWW have started, and Tim Berners-Lee, is the person who is the creator of WWW. And in 1991, he again have created HTML with until from then onwards, various versions of HTML have evolved like 2.0, 3.2, and 4.01 and 5. And the latest version of HTML is HTML5. So he is the man behind this. Now, since WWW and HTML both are created by Tim Berners-Lee, any browser will support HTML. So we needn't worry about the compatibility. So any browsers like Edge or Internet Explorer or any browser will be able to handle this HTML code. Now I'll tell you what are all the necessary things that you require to create a HTML file. To create a HTML file, you just need a simple editor. But if you are professionally creating websites and then editing the HTML documents, then you require professional HTML editors and all that. But for beginners or for learners, you just require a notepad. I created the shortcut of the notepad and I have put it on the desktop. So you can actually type in here, like in case if the notepad is not visible on your desktop, you can type in here. So you can type here for searching it. So if I want notepad, I can just simply type notepad and the notepad will appear and you can double click it to open it. Okay, so I have the notepad here. I double clicked it and I opened my notepad. So this is my notepad. So before getting into creating the HTML file, so let me just give you the visualization of HTML page structure. So the HTML page structure will be having certain elements like HTML element. So we'll discuss in detail like what is this HTML tag and all that later, but just try to understand that. So HTML will be the major tag. It will be like the root tag and all that, root element. And inside it, like you'll be having the head. And for every tag, there will be a closing tag. So I'll be having a closing tag like this. And so inside the head tag, you again will be having certain other things which are required for styling and all that. So say, for example, something like I want some title to be put. So I'll be putting over here inside the header. Okay, so fine. So for, as I said, like for every open tag, there will be a closing tag. Okay, right. So the close tag will look like this. It will be, the tag is something which is put in this angular bracket and it's not case sensitive. So you needn't worry about that. And for every open tag, there will be a closing tag with this slash and all that. Okay, right. And then afterwards, then I'll be having the body whatever I want to see on the browser, I'll be putting it in the body, something which need to be visualized. Okay, so whatever you want to see on the browsers, the contents that you want to put on the browser, you will be putting it in the body. So inside the body, so I can have some headings. So I have h1 tag over here, and then followed by closing of the h1. And then I can have some paragraph. So I can put some paragraph and then followed by the closing of the paragraph tag and so on. So once I finish doing with the body tag, so I need to close the body tag like this. So I just have closed it. And then this is the closing of my HTML document. So I just have shown you the visual thing of how your HTML structure looks like. So this is like the root. Okay, so wherein you can see like for every HTML there is a closing HTML tag, and then this is your head. Okay, so the head starts over here and ends over here, and then the body starts over here and the body ends over here. Okay, so which will be part inside your HTML tags. Okay, so this is the basic structure or the page structure of your HTML. So how it is different from the programming languages? HTML is different from the programming languages. It is a markup language. As I said, HTML stands for hypertext markup language. It is a markup language. It is not a programming language. Programming languages are different. So let me give you some differences between markup language and the programming language. Markup language, languages like you have XML, HTML. So you have XHTML. So you have markup languages, many markup languages. So the markup languages are used for annotating a document in the way that it is syntactically different from the other text. Okay, like what you do in your textbooks and all that. If you want to highlight something, you will be putting some highlighter on a particular part of the text. So it is annotating. Okay, so you want some text to be highlighted than the other text. So all that you can do it with the markup language. But what is a programming language? Programming language is a formal language that contains a set of instructions used to produce various kinds of outputs. So you'll be giving an input and you want certain output to be to get certain output, you'll be using programming languages. And another difference between the markup language and the programming languages is like markup languages are interpreted by the browser. Okay, but programming languages need a compiler. So for example, for C programming, it needs a compiler. It compiles and then you get some code and then you execute it and all that. For example, Java, you need an interpreter, JVM, to actually execute your code and all that. So that's the difference. Here for the markup languages, you require a browser. And for regular programming languages, you either need a compiler or an interpreter. And examples I already told you, HTML, XML, and XHTML, and so on, are the examples of the markup language. And C, C++, Python, and Java, and all these assembly code language, all these are examples of the programming language. And so what is markup language used for? It is used to present some information in some format. Okay, and programming languages are used to give instructions to the computer to perform a particular task. Okay, so you want a task to be done, so you give instructions to the computer how to do that particular task, and you will expect certain output from that. So this is the difference from the programming language and the markup language. So do not confuse between the programming language and the markup language. HTML is a markup language. Okay, so let me just create one very simple HTML code, and I will show you how to run it. Okay, right. So I'll keep this like this, and on top of it, I'll be putting a comment. So this is how actually you will start putting a comment. So I have put doc type, and then I have put HTML. Okay, so this is needed for you to put for the better execution, because doc type actually mentions that this file is of HTML type. So we need to put it as the very first line in your code, because like your browser will know that this is a HTML document, and this is for HTML5. And this is comment, so that's why it will not be visible on your browser, but your browser will be knowing certain information. It will know that this is a HTML file. Okay, right. And then I have put HTML, then I have put some head, and inside this title, so I'll be putting some title over here. So I'll say it is Sudha's web technology class. Okay, so I just have put some title, or else I'll just put Sudha. Okay, and then inside the body heading, I'll put web technologies. Okay, so I have put web technologies, and then paragraph, P stands for paragraph. So in the paragraph, I'll be typing like HTML stands for hypertext markup language. Okay, so I just have created one simple HTML file. So I just need to save it. So click on file over here, click on save as. So I have chosen the desktop, or you can choose your own location. So herein I just need to type the name of my HTML file. So I'm making the name of my HTML file to be, so this is welcome, right? So I'm saying well.html. I can also put the extension of the file can be HTML or HTM also. Okay, so both are acceptable. So I'm saying well.html. And you can see something over here, which is like encoding, which is UTF. UTF stands for Unicode Transformation Format, and it is the preferred Unicode for HTML. It is the mostly widely used way to represent Unicode text in web pages. So whenever you are creating web pages or you are creating databases, the encoding scheme should be UTF-8. So this is what I have put over here, and then I'm clicking on save. So as soon as I clicked on save, you can see that the name of the file have changed to well, and I'm closing this, or you can minimize this or whatever you want. And then here you can see that on the desktop, so wherever I have saved my file, you can see that this is the default browser setting that I have put. So I have put Microsoft Edge to be the default browser. So that's the reason it has also set to the default browser. And if you right click on this and go and see the properties of this, you can see that it is a HTML document. So you can see like it is .html, and the name of the file is well and all that. Okay, so this particular information you can see. So if you want to see or run this and see the outcome of it, I'm double clicking on it. As soon as I double clicked on it, you can see that the output appeared on the browser. I'll just try to show you the code. So just check the code over here and showing you the code along with the execution here. So you can see this part over here, which is Sudha, right? Okay. So what is Sudha? Sudha is the title I have given. So you'll be seeing Sudha over here. And then I have put web technologies over here. And I have put web technologies as header H1. Okay. So that's why this is the maximum size of the heading. Okay. So web technologies. So okay, and you can see I have given something in paragraphs, which is HTML stands for hypertext markup language, which also appeared here. Okay, so this is how you actually write a HTML file and execute a HTML file. Hope this video is helpful to you. Thank you for watching.